Thank you very much. And of course, Eris Discordia nailing that one on the head. That gives us, of course, just a few minutes to talk before the next game. Coming up is the Wrong Alliance versus Rooks and Kings. But before that, this was a battleship versus battlecruiser punch out, if you could say so. Rias,
Fisticuffs.
what do you think about that?
I love battlecruisers. I think they represent an incredible value in terms of points. Obviously, the tier 1 more so than the tier 2, but the Hurricane is, the Hurricane and the Harbinger in particular are incredible ships, and when backed up appropriately, they do really well. And I think we've had at least 1 or 2 other matches where we saw the tier 2 battlecruiser heavy setup with a Rook and a logistics that have won. I can't remember which match that was, but I know I've seen that particular setup win, and it won very convincingly. So I'm all for it. I mean, I love battleships too, but I think battlecruisers represent just so much value.
Yeah. Trispic, I kind of interrupted you before on the whole battleship thing. Would you rather bring the T3 or the faction battleship? And I smoothly inserted a Kanye reference, but interrupted you nonetheless. So I think you should be allowed to answer.
If you need to cry, it's okay.
May need a moment. I completely forgot what I was saying, but I think the gist of it was T3 ships can be really good. I mean, we saw that in the Goonswarm versus Red Overlord fight where we won with a quarter of a Kronos left, I believe, and 1 support ship. And faction battleships are also really good. I'd say you'd probably start seeing more T3 cruisers. They have the advantage of signature radius and speed over battleships, and they can do a lot of damage and have a lot of EHP.
I think you're probably right. I really enjoy seeing them as well. I think they're underrated, and I think the Red Overlord setup was really good.
Not good enough.
Not good enough, but I mean, there's also a bit of debate on whether or not they played it right. But I mean, I thought it was a good setup. I thought it was a really good setup.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been wrong before. The Bears example I mentioned earlier was obviously wrong. They brought destroyers, and I think the commentators mentioned that they weren't really shooting, that they were E-warfare destroyers.
Yeah, waste of DPS.
They had guns. Bizarre choice on Death's part to not have them do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're getting destroyers, aren't you getting them to destroy?
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
Aren't you getting them to shoot ships? And if you want electronic warfare, you spend the same amount of points on an electronic warfare frigate or something else, like Griffins or something. Just get Griffins. Okay, Rice, go ahead.
The Saber is really great for that, though, because it does have the extra mid-slot. I mean, the Thrasher and the Saber are the 2 best destroyers in the game, obviously, because they're the same hull, and they're Mimitar. But they do unbelievable amounts of DPS. I mean, it's, with a reasonable skilled character and a reasonable fit, you're looking at least 300 DPS. If you really max it out, if you really spend some time training on it, and you fit them just right, you're looking at well over 400. That's a lot of damage. And then you've still got mid-slots that you can use to fit E-warfare, tracking disruptors, scramblers, webs, whatever you want. So I think they wasted those destroyers. They weren't doing damage or anything effective.
Yeah, the use of destroyers over in EAS or a T1 frigate is survivability, but I mean, yeah, you're looking at 300 DPS plus a utility disruptor or a remote sensor damp or something, but not using them against the Rook or the Guardian or even the Lachesis, really, I don't see why you would do that.
No.
And points too. 2 points versus 5 for the EAF, I think.
Is the destroyer only 2 points?
The Thrasher is 2 points.
That is a bargain then. Another question we have coming in, DJ Daryl Dutch. What do you think about the low number of hacks we've seen in this tournament?
I mean, the Cerberus has been put to some decent use. For 1 point more, though, you get Tech 3, right?
Yeah. I actually did not even think about that.
No, it's a very good question. That's why I felt that DJ Daryl Dutch should have the chance to ask it.
I mean, I think it's kind of like the stealth bomber situation where they've been priced high enough that you have to have a very specific role that you want to use them for in order to make them effective. And, the amount of variability that you get on the T3 and the fact that, unless your teams have sat down and memorized every single subsystem on every single T3, you don't know, exactly what they're fielding.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Let's jump on over to the wrong alliance versus Rooks and Kings, which is ready right now. Let's have a quick guess on who's going to win this.
The wrong alliance.
Yeah. Two Redeemers, Rooks and Kings? No, they don't have a chance. Wrong Alliance has this one in the bag.
Eris?
I'm going to be different and go for Rooks and Kings.
It's working for you so far.
Yeah,
I'm going
it's
with
been
Eris
working.
Discordia, Rooks and Kings. I was going to go for the wrong alliance, but Eris Discordia says Rooks and Kings. Rooks and Kings it is. Let's find out.
You're learning. Listening.